night edition, so I'm going to have to be a little bit quieter in order to try not to wake up my daughter, and I've tried to move into the other room for the first time, so we'll see how this goes. Anyway, I just want to say thank you guys again so much for everyone just subscribing and all of the great support that you've given me. I've really appreciated the time just to sit down and play with a few of you as well. And I just wanted to say thanks again, guys. It's really meant a lot to me, and I'm really glad to be able to support you guys in the English community. Before we move on as well, I also just want to mention once again the EN Flash Mob for January 2016. Pilot, aka Old Gemox, just done a really great job with this event, and I really hope that you guys participated. Again, the goal was to do your best in both DT and T1 and T2, Survivor, both in ELO and T2, and then in your ELO as well. And each one of those would net you a certain amount of points. I think for my DT-T1, I was able to hit about 405 points, which got me 10 event points. I was able to find out I'm actually a little bit better at DT-T2 than I thought, at about 436. And actually both of those DTs were starting about 5 minutes late, so I probably could have squeezed another 20 points in there if I'd been able to win one more. But that was worth 11 points for my DT-T2. My Survivor ELO, I only got to 6. I know I could have done a little bit better than that, obviously, but I was happy with the 6 because it got me 6 more points. Survivor T2, I was able to capitalize on my 13 from before, which got me 10 more event points. And then for my ELO, I said that just a few weeks back, getting a 13-11, which got me 8 more points in total. If you count that up, that's 45 points. So out of the prizes to be won, I didn't even do that well in a lot of these. It was just a little bit of practice, 45 points. I'll be able to get 400,000 Clints, 12 gold tokens, 18 silver tokens, and 22 bronze tokens. Just an absolutely awesome event. I really hope that the rest of you guys participated as well, because this was a really, really good chance in order to be able to make a decent bit of Clints for just playing the game. Not really anything extra at all, just trying your hand, trying to do better than you did before. So I really hope that some of you guys were able to take part in this, because I thought it was a really awesome, really great event. So this week we're going to be doing our 5 weekly ELO mission, weekly matches, and I actually had a request by someone to do a Budget Junkz half deck, and I'm going to go ahead and do that because I actually blitzed Sakrohm and got all the way down here because Sakrohm has 20 fights that you need to win in ELO mode, so I'm actually going to build a half deck for Sakrohm as well. So we're going to have a half deck of Sakrohm, and then we're going to have a half deck of Budget Junkz. I don't think I'm going to do a Budget Sakrohm because I do want to try and win some of these. And a lot of people on the forums have been saying that Sakrohm is really hard to win in ELO. I actually disagree. One of the first times I ran ELO for you guys, my first ELO matches are with a half deck of Sakrohm. So I don't think they're that bad. So let's go ahead and head over to our collection and see what we can do. So we have this Budget Junkz deck, this Budget Junkz half. I'm going to go ahead and open up the market as well, just because some of these do not display correctly, and so we can go ahead and look at the market and then go back into our collection and make our Budget Junkz half deck, and then we can worry about what we can fit in our Sakrohm half. So let's go ahead and stick with Xonia. I should have just left it at the top because it's gonna refresh the page back up at the top. Oops, my bad. I'll go ahead and go by price. And ascending. Oh, I have not switched over yet. Alright, haven't loaded yet, so now we've got the ascending. Alright, so for our Budget Junkz, we're looking again at things that are under 2,000. So let's skip to page 3 and see if there's anything available on page 3. Oh, we do have a few here. Okay, great. So under 2K, I'll cut it off at Akiko. Not that I would have wanted Akiko in there anyway. We've got Dash. I think I'll skip for now. Onic. Onic is a really good card, but he's going to get ripped apart by SOA, but we'll keep him in mind. Onic is actually not bad at all. I'm really happy that Onyx is an option. Trixie would be an option. It looks like I've got 4 of her. I don't think I've leveled her, but I've got enough XP. I could do that. We've got Dreen. Dreen is an excellent 2-star card. I would really recommend. Dreen was one of those cards that you got right at the beginning. I highly recommend having Dreen. Oh, we got Mask. Okay, so we've actually got a 5-star that we can afford to stick in there, maybe. For Circle, it's Cyrene. Cyrene's not... She's not bad. She's not good either, so I don't know if I'd put her in the deck. Bunny. Fizzle. Fizzle's actually pretty good as well. Kawan, Crystal, Vanish, Flanagan, of course. We're gonna have to put Flanagan in there. So why don't we go ahead and go back here, and we've got a couple cards that we know that we want to put in here. So Flanagan is one of these staple cards, and if you don't know that, if you ever build a Junkz half deck, you need to put Flanagan in your deck. It doesn't matter. He's one of those common cards that you're going to put in your top tier deck as well. So Flanagan, definitely want him in there. He is just an amazing wall and a great card that you can lead off with if you want to. Who are some of the other cards that we said we were going to look at? Oh dear. We talked about maybe Trixie as well. She's on the next page. Okay, we talked about Cyrene. Talked about Onyx maybe. We did talk about our Dream. Yes, Dream was the other. Oh, go away, Black. Alright. So we're going to go ahead and put Dream in here. And with this, we've actually only got 4 stars in our deck right now, which means that we can probably afford to go a little bit higher. So because we're going to also have the Sakrohm in there, and Sakrohm can really dish out some damage, I'm going to put Fizzle in here because Fizzle is an awesome 4-star card. Absolutely killer. 8 power with that +8 and then a -3 min-2. Amazing card. I really recommend putting her in the deck if in your deck if you've got a chance to, especially if you need DR. She's an excellent card. And we'll see if there's anybody down here on the first page that we can put in, because then that'll definitely make it more of a budget half deck. Oh, there's Lee Moon. He's completely impossible to stop. He is a beast. We could probably put Lolly in there. She's not a bad DR either. So if we use our Junkz as a low star and DR half, it's going to be hard if we draw all Junkz, but not impossible. Again, I really like Lolly as well. She's a huge pain when you come up against her. Again, -2 min-1, the real key there being the min-1, and just 7/3 at 3 stars only. So doing that's going to give us, what, 4 and 3 and 2 2s, so 11. This is a little bit low for the half, but that's okay because we do want a little bit more, because I think Sakrohm has the potential to really pull off a nasty half deck. Alright, so we're going to do that, and then we're going to go ahead and make our Sakrohm half deck. And I won't specifically make it a budget half, but I'm going to go ahead and try to keep it somewhat lower. So in other words, I'm not going to be throwing in some of my really expensive cards in there. I'm going to try and keep it to some decent cards, but not cards that are going to just completely break the bank. Alright, so we've got 14 stars to work with. Let me see. We've already got 2 2-stars, so even though I would love to put a card like Oxo in there again, I just don't think it's wise to have 3 2-stars in my deck, unless you really want to run it risky. So, you know what, why don't we be risky? I mean, what do we got to lose? Let's throw Oxo in there, and then that's going to give us 12 stars for our last 3, which means that we can afford to put some serious cards in there. I would also really like to run Murray, because Murray is an excellent card when you run up against DR, and he's never banned for whatever reason, so he's an absolutely amazing card. So that means we can now fit a 5-star and a 4-star from Sakrohm in here. Preferably, we would really like nukes. So, if we're going to put some nukes in do we want? You know, I think I'm going to showcase the power. I'm going to try and showcase the power of Xonia. I think he doesn't get nearly as much love as he should. I think he is an absolutely beastly 5-star card. Obviously, he's not going to be able to take out some of the really high-powered cards. So we could run into some trouble, depending on what we run into. But for decks like Legenta, if we run into some Legenta decks, being able to pull people down to his power and doing 8 damage is absolutely beastly. Of course, you could always run the card like Virginia. That would be great. But Xonia is also a very low-expense card, so it's going to be really good for those of you that don't have a lot of expenses to try and make this kind of killer deck. I'd really love to run Petra, but it looks like she's running pretty costly right now. I'm wondering if I should put Mantis, but he just doesn't do as much damage as I'd like. So I think I'm gonna run Lear again. Lear Barda is just absolutely horrifying nuke. Definitely not a card you want to see coming up against you. So let's go ahead and take a look at our deck and see what we've got going on now. So it actually shows me my deck. Okay, let's go ahead and look at everything, and I'm going to need to clear out my old deck, so let me go ahead and do that next. Been running a bunch of missions in here. Started through again with all the missions I had not unlocked yet, so all my new blood missions I'm slowly using the credits I'm getting from finishing all my 5-star missions, the 5-star cards, or the rares that I've gotten missions recently for packs, since I've been really working on getting a hold of all of those before they exit the packs. Really great way to make a little extra cash, since I'm also working through Raptors right now. Raptors is the only clan that I do not have over 250 wins. I'm sitting at right about 200 wins with them right now. Been working on them for the last week or so. Did I just remove everything except for oh, great. Alright, well, let's go back. I thankfully I can remember everyone that I had for Sakrohm, but I totally just brain fart talking about Raptors and removing Raptors. Alright, so with our 25 stars, we've got Dream, Fizzle, Flanagan, Lolly, Learbarda, Murray, Oxo, and Xonia. Alright, well, we've got 1 SOA, 1 SOB, we've got 2 DR, we've got some power manipulation and attack manipulation, both Dream and Xonia. We've got Heal with Learbarda, Murray, that's able to get around DR. I think we're looking like we're in pretty good shape, I think. So, let's go in and just see how we do. Okay guys, well let's go ahead and show you again that we're here at 1000 ELO. We haven't played anything in the past week. So, let's get into it. Alright, our first opponent is level 124, Belle Pitote. Sorry if I've completely mispronounced your name. Funny. Alright, so it looks like it's a mono rescue deck, and Phoebe is back before the ELO ban descends upon her. Alright, so we really need to watch out for Phoebe. Anita is of course going to be the kind of thing that you would expect to see on round 1. Really no reason for slide. Anyway, we've got Anita, Phoebe, Reeve, and Slide CR versus Fizzle, Lolly, Oxo, and Xonia. It looks like we are down by 1 star, so that's not too big of a deal, but you've got to watch out for Phoebe. The good thing, though, is that Phoebe will at least have a bit of trouble if I throw Oxo next round. Anita is not going to be able to do a whole lot of damage versus Lolly. So the one thing we want to avoid here is getting ourselves into a whole lot of trouble. Now, that being said, would probably be a lot more interesting to throw Solhona on the first round when Belpatoad is probably not expecting it. Now, I'm going to have to play one more pill than Anita, but I doubt he's going to play that many because he's got both Phoebe and Reeve and Slide on his side, so I wouldn't expect more than a 5 pill, but just in case he goes to 6, I'm going to go ahead and throw 7. And we'll see if we can give him a nice little surprise because we've both got Fizzle, we've got both Fizzle and Lolly. Okay, only a 3 pill. I figured he might go low as well, but that's okay because we have now done 8 damage, which is great. We don't have to worry about Solhona getting stuck against Slide CR now. We are at a significant pill disadvantage. We don't really have to worry about Phoebe this round though, so that's really nice. One we really need to worry about is Reeve here, and so we're going to want to throw Fizzle. And of course, in throwing Fizzle, Slide CR is probably going to come out with the 17. So we're going to go ahead and just play one more pill in case he retaliates with a 1 pill slide. Ideally, what we're hoping for here is that maybe he will get nervous and pill a little bit more to try and prevent the maybe surprise KO that I could try if I really wanted to. Unfortunately, because I am low on pills now, it does mean that he doesn't have to play that many pills in order to cover and make sure. Or he can just throw Slide, which is what we were hoping for. Throwing 1 additional pill. It's only going to be 1 damage, but we have stopped Slide from getting any more additional damage, which is great. Locks in the ability to cause some trouble here. And so now what we've got here is Bell has to lead. Reeve will not get his extra damage if he leads Reeve, which is his best bet, or he could lead Phoebe. Basically, we just need to, I was going to say, keep him to 9 damage, and that's not going to happen. So we have to take one of these rounds. We absolutely have to take one of these rounds. He's probably going to be expecting me to save, his best move is Reeve. And if he plays Reeve, then chances are what he's thinking is, what does he have to play in order to definitely win with Phoebe? But of course he's expecting me to use my Oxo, so if he plays Reeve, it's probably a low pill Reeve. If he plays Phoebe, I would guess that he's probably gone all in with Phoebe, because playing Phoebe first is kind of the baiting move, the one where we got 5 power, you really want to try and beat me. So my guess is he will feel confident with Reeve. What does he need with Phoebe in order to win? I can only hit with Oxo versus Phoebe 36, and then 4 less would be only 32, which means he would need to save 7, which means he can only play 4 pills with Reeve, which means that I would be able to beat him with Oxo if I go all in versus his Reeve. We'll just have to see what he does, or maybe he won't play anything at all. Okay, I guess he has decided not to play anything at all, and give us an easy first win. Alright, I don't know if that really counts as a win, but I guess I have to say it counts as a win because here it says the 25G is a reality, has gone up by 1, so we are now 1-0 with this deck. We did pill a little too much there, so we need to be careful not to go in too far. You should really be careful. I was really hoping that he would go in a little bit further with Anita, but like I had been saying, I said that he probably wouldn't go in that far, and then I didn't actually do it. So next we've got level 51, P.A. Zemanil. He's interesting. Okay, we've got Blaster, CR, Bowden, Power Graph, and Yema versus our Flanagan, Lolly, Murray, and Oxo. So again, it looks like we are severely outstarred here. How many are we down? 4 stars. We are down 4 stars. Fantastic. So a Bowden Power win would basically end most of this for us, making our lives generally unhappy. So let's see. Blaster's really the only one that we need to worry about. Yema with the damage we could cover with a Lolly, which is why he hasn't done that. We could also stop him straight up with Oxo. So saving Lolly and Oxo are going to be our best bet versus Blaster and Yema, which means that we either need to throw Flanagan or Murray. And Graph has this SOA, which means that Murray is probably our best bet. Now, he's probably also guessed that. But, in all honesty, it would probably be better to go against Bowden Power with Flanagan, because pill for pill, we'd be able to beat him. I'm only going to go in 6 hoping that he has not gone in super far with Blood and Power. He probably feels a little bit confident here with all the extra. Yeah, he's only played 3. Alright, so the good news is we've gotten Murray out of the way. We no longer have to worry about him losing over half of his damage. Now we need to figure out what we want to do. Do we want to plan for Blaster or look out for Yema? If we play Lolly, it's probably going to result in Graf coming out. So if Graf is going to come out in order to try and get around me, but I really want to save Lolly because Lolly's going to be really, really good later on against either Yema or Blaster. So we're going to go with Oxo instead, and he's probably going to know that up to at least 4 pills, he would be able to, he'll have to beat me with at least a 5-pill play. Hopefully I mean that's kind of the obvious play that he should do, but hopefully he will not. So we can go ahead and tie either his Graf or his Blaster CR with our Oxo up to 4 pills. So I think my guess is that we'll probably see Graf come out here. However, we could see Blaster since it wouldn't necessarily hurt him. I wouldn't expect to see Yema unless he's just gonna test the waters. But if I was gonna do that, I would probably do it with Graf. There's really no reason to keep Graf with only 2 damage. He's down by 5. Oxo would put it to 8. Now the thing I'm worried about most, okay, here's Blaster. Maybe we should have played 2 more. Oh, fantastic. That was extremely lucky. If I were PA Zamanil, I think Blaster really was the best choice there. He should have played 1 more pill just to ensure that I wasn't going to end up tying him, because I would end up winning the ties against him. So that was just unfortunate on the part for PA Zamanil. If he played just 1 or 2 more pills, which he probably worried about whether or not it was safe enough to do that with us, then we would have been in trouble. But thankfully we got it, and he went ahead and quit. Again, I still don't know why he left the battle early. He still might have been able to win. Though I don't know with the only other cards he had. Anyway, so we've gotten 2 of our wins already. We're 2-0, and we've got 2 of our wins with Sakrohm in ELO. So as you can see, this deck is not that bad if you can manage it well. Okay, so now we've got our split deck, level 92, all fiction. Okay, interesting. And got Dahlia, CR, Hawkins, Parmabarb, and Murray versus Fizzle, Flanagan, Murray, and Oxo. Looks like we are only down by 1 star. As you can see, I guess it's a theme. We're down in stars here. Hawkins, again, as I have explained before, has this huge issue with only playing a few pills in general. So, because we know that he probably will not go that far in, and because we know that he's probably well aware of the fact that Oxo is going to control most of this match, Parmabarb does not have a high level. There's no reason to use Fizzle. Flanagan is probably our best bet, but if we lead with Flanagan, it doesn't really do us a whole lot of good. Flanagan is really only good for walling up to 8 pills. So actually what I'm going to say is, because we know that Hawkins probably isn't going to go in that far, and we're going to have to hope, and because we don't want to use Oxo in order to stop that, we're going to go ahead and go to 5, since that has been the magic number that everyone's talked about. Watch him play exactly 5 pills. That would be kind of funny. Okay, just 1. I had thought he would not play that many, but just wanted to be safe. So the 5 damage here does put us in an excellent position against his Murray or Parmabarb or Dahlia. I think one thing we could do here, we have quite a bit of DR, and we may not see Dahlia if I do this. If I do this, there's no point in throwing Parmabarb or Murray, so he's definitely going to play Dahlia. Which means 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 is going to be the max he can hit. Is 36 going to be enough? Alright, let's try and be sneaky. You know, honestly I would not suggest doing this ever. This is a horrible idea. But we're going to go ahead and throw Oxo, because if he throws Dahlia, and if he plays semi-low pill with Dahlia, hopefully he'll only go to 32 here, which is a 4 pill. If he goes over 4 pills, then we are absolutely sunk. That's the end of this, which is most likely what's going to happen. But if we can catch him with Parma Barb and Murray, he's got to play first, which means that as soon as he plays his Parma Barb, I can just throw Fizzle, pretty much limiting his ability to beat me. He's thrown Parma Barb. Interesting. Well, that, I think it's going to result in just about the same thing here. Maybe not, though. So we have Dahlia. We're going to go ahead and throw Fizzle. Yep, he is going to be able to take us by 1. Oh, too bad. It was really dependent on either Dahlia or Murray going. I'm really surprised he threw Parma Barb there. Alright, well, so be it. So this is what happens when you take risks, and it's perfectly fine, guys. You know, every once in a while, one of these is actually going to pay off. I mean, we were able to get through with Oxo. If I had been a little more cautious, which probably would have been the smarter move, since I did still have Fizzle, and all I needed to do was make sure that I ended up with more pills than Dahlia CR. He did only play a few with Parma Barb, so it was good that I played a few. Yeah. Anyway, if I was going to do that, I probably should have instead played one of my other cards. Because if I had saved my SOA, if I had saved Oxo and played one of my other cards instead, if I played Fizzle instead, for example, that would have been a much better idea, in fact, because then I could have matched up Murray with the SOA and stopped him. So probably should have just reoriented my thinking. So we got Babs Hartley here. Oh, excellent. So we got our leader of one of our rival guilds here. Good luck, Babs. Looks like you've got a much better shot at this than me, unless I can sneak something in here. So you got Galactia, Plunk, Dave, and Wheelie versus my Fizzle, Flanagan, Murray, and Solhona. Plunk is disconcerting because with the Galactia and Plunk, obviously you have absolutely no idea which one is going to be played first. And that Toxin is going to make you pay pretty much no matter what. Now if I go ahead and play Solhona, probably gonna play Plunk at this point. But he could go in with a few more. I'm gonna go ahead and go to 6, because if he decides to try and challenge with Dave or Wheelie, I will still, I think, win if he plays 5 instead of, yeah. I think I can still win against a 5-pill Dave or Wheelie. However, we shall see. If he throws Plunk, obviously that's going to put us in a much worse position than we are right now. We're going to drop basically down to half of our pills, and he's still going to have all 13 it is. I've got Wheelie here. Alright, we'll see if he goes 5 or 6. 5. Excellent. Okay, so that still went very well, because that took away quite a bit of his damage with Wheelie. Wheelie being his most powerful card as of base stats. So now we can probably expect to see Galactia, because that's what just makes sense to do. Problem here is, now that he's done that, I can basically ensure the win with Murray. I've already done 6. I'm going to go ahead and do 5 more here. That's 11, and there's no way that he can do more than that with Dave and Plunk, especially since I have Fizzle. Just need to think this out quickly. 11. And it really doesn't matter what order I play them in because Dave would only be able to do 2, which means he won't be able to do more than 10. So I'm pretty sure this is over. And because he's going to have to pill at least 1 for each. Maybe he can still get both of his Furies off. For example, he could play Plunk. You would have to play Plunk this round. No, he could play Plunk either round. It doesn't matter. But I think we've got Babs this time. Really, again, it just kind of, some of these games, it just comes down to round 1, and you've got to be able to kind of guess who they're going to play, and just hope that you do well. A good game, Babs. Maybe I should say Mr. Hartley. I don't know. Alright, so we are now 3-1. Let's get to our last match versus Kilmay, level 90. Okay, and then we've got Here We Go, La Solarosa, Hell, and Pan. So we've got a Hurricane and Nightmare versus our Lolly, Murray, Oxo, and Solhona. It looks like we are the ones with the star lead this time, obviously, since we've started by 1. And our bonus is going to be completely useless versus Nightmare, and we've definitely got to watch out for La Solarosa and Here We Go. So I think for round 1, what we would like to do we can't lead with Lolly. Now Lolly or Oxo are both going to be great against La Solarosa, which means that La Solarosa may be played first. And if that is the case, I do not want to get out with La Solarosa first round. That's a huge no-no that I do not even want to attempt. So I'm going to go ahead and, again, we're going to start with 6 pills on Murray. I feel really good with the 6. I think I probably should have only played 5, but since we are against Hurricane, well, even though they're only 6 power, I do not like the 14 life that they get. Now the problem with Murray, and this is one of the reasons why I really did want to hesitate to use Murray, is that this is not really going to hurt the Hurricane bonus that much at all. It's 2 damage. It is 5 life gap, but it's only 2 damage. So there's Pan. Okay, it does make sense to throw Pan versus Murray. I'm not going to want to spend that many pills. Okay. What we really need to make sure that we do here is look out for La Solarosa. So it doesn't matter what we have done as long as La Solarosa is out. So here's the funny thing, with both La Solarosa and Hell there, I think we can, because but I'm going to have to go first. So what's La Solarosa going to be able to do? If she Furies, she's still going to get to 3, which means it's going to be 9. 13 at max. So I think if this is right, I think we can go ahead and stop Kilmay with the Furied. We may not have even needed to Fury, but that's what we were expecting because Kilmay is trying to use all of his extra damage in order to wear us down, and I think that because we have now put 15 between us, he is not going to be able to come back from this. And it doesn't matter what order we play these in, ultimately. Obviously, if we play Oxo, he's going to match it up with Hell, not La Solarosa. So, even with a Hell, with Fury, that's only going to give him 4 damage. And then La Solarosa versus Lolly, again, with a Fury, is going to only give him 9. So 9 and 4 is 13, and we are 15 ahead because we Furied with Solhona. And so I believe that locks the win in for us. Good game, Kilme. So just once again, for those of you who are worried about the Sakrohm mission, or for those who have been telling you or who have said that the Sakrohm mission is so difficult, there's no way, they're completely unpopular in ELO, you can't win with them, it's totally not true. You can definitely win with Sakrohm. They have plenty of great cards, so please don't hesitate to bust out a Sakrohm deck and try to kick some butt. The main key is going to be making sure that you pick some Sakrohm cards that can really nuke your opponent. So here we go, ending with 1063 ELO. We are 4-1 this week. I hope you guys were able to enjoy. Good luck with your new ELO Sakrohm missions if you have not already finished them. And again, for those who did make it this far, I just hope that you can see that, you know, my goal with this is not to show you, you know, how great, you know, I am in ELO. I'm actually really not that good. My main point in showing you these and in making these strange decks, mostly based off LD missions, is to show you that once you kind of know your cards and you get to know what kind of combinations work and what things are good and how to make them fit together, kind of like figuring out the puzzle. Once you've put the puzzle together and taken it apart and put it back together a couple times, you're gonna be more comfortable, and you're also hopefully able to see that it really doesn't matter what deck you use in ELO. Whatever deck you use, you're going to be able to do well as long as you feel comfortable with it. You know how your deck works, and you can kind of just look at your opponent and guess, like, this is probably good. And as you can see with a lot of my card choices as well, I like to try and choose cards that force the opponent to play a specific card. Or at least to narrow it down to some cards that I feel that I can deal with relatively easily. So great, thanks again for watching, guys. If you like this video, please feel free to like it and leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to share it with your friends if you thought it was amazing, and don't forget to subscribe for more of my Urban Rivals videos. This is Xonia, and you've been in the zone.